I remember at the start of our senior year's final semester. That was a significant moment of contemplation for us students. Of course, we all had that one set of friends that had always stuck together through the ups and downs of school. But we each had our own plans, different plans, for where we'll go after high school ends. Our remaining time together was brief, and we figured we wanted to end this final chapter with something extraordinary, something we had always dreamed of, but had never done before. 4 months later, high school ended. And that dream became a reality. Of course, we didn't think of this trip overnight. This had been in our minds for quite a while, since Toshi brought it up in the first few weeks of the last semester. Oh, by the way, this is Toshi. He's been a very close friend of mine since elementary school. Coincidentally, he also has some Japanese origins, so it was quite appropriate for him to come up with the idea of going on a group trip to Japan. Well, to come up with something is one thing, to plan it out is a whole different story. We really didn't have any specific demands on where to visit, what to try out, and the likes, except for one of us who made the very specific request of visiting. Don't get us wrong, we did have an itinerary, which we didn't really follow, but a lot of the trip remained a mystery even to ourselves. A lot was yet to be planned, and often we would just follow the road and see where we would end up, leaving everything up to chance. Of course, traveling without an intricate plan may seem inadvisable to many, but personally, I think it adds to the thrill of traveling. Every turn we took, every path we walked, every place and store we visited would bring something unexpected, and our curious selves enjoyed that. Throughout the trip, we were always met with surprises, and Japan is full of them. And for our friend who was visiting for the first time, some of us who have been to Japan several times before, and even to Toshi, who was biologically and culturally related to this country, it remains a shock for all of us. Take, for instance, the contrast. This is what Japan is like. But Japan can also be like And there were, of course, the more specific details, the interesting, the advanced, and the adorable things that we came across. Whether that be what we found on the shelves of stores, the arcades we went in without plan, the food we enjoyed that seemed to always be delicious regardless of which restaurant we decided to enter, and most importantly, the hospitality and the warm people we came across along our way. Of course, to visit and to live in a country are two completely different ideas. You really can't just visit a place once and decide whether or not it will be a wonderful place to live in. As enjoyable and amazing Japan may seem, I have friends living there who talk about the struggles of life in Japan, and we're all aware of that. Even so, despite that, and how foreign this country is to me and I am to it, somehow it still makes me feel at home. Usually this camera would be my main means of storytelling, or making videos. However, I do realize how much of a hassle it can be to carry around a camera while traveling. Don't get me wrong, I love capturing what I see with this, but for one, it is larger than my self-esteem and heavier than my ego, and repeatedly taking it out from and putting it back in my bag is quite impractical. Secondly, I realize how intimidating a camera can be to myself, and especially to other people. I mean, you can just imagine yourself just chilling, enjoying your time, and some random guy appears next to you with a camera. I can imagine how much more of an issue that was to my friend who decided to bring this behemoth along with him. What the heck? You probably noticed the clips that I took with a smartphone, and to be honest, I think I took a lot more clips with a phone than I did with a camera. Where I felt a smartphone would be more appropriate, I would use it to capture the more interesting, comical, and sometimes idiotic moments I had with my friends. I was often told how traveling with someone can reveal a lot more about their personality, and I was able to see a completely different side of my friends that would otherwise never be present in school, for instance. Like, these people were known to be some of the brightest, most sophisticated people of our grade, yet during our trip, they were kind of the exact opposite. Let me show you.
Toshi, would you mind explaining why your noodles aren't cooking?
I don't know, man.
Toshi, you're just submerging the noodles in normal water.
So this guy in Ginza has to get 15,000 items for his cousin. So Matoshi is just looking for things to buy for his cousin.
Yeah, man. What's this? Honey? Bro, just buy it in the supermarket, bro. There's different versions of honey. They for real updated honey, bro. What even is this? It's a rice mask. What is this? You'll adore the tantalizingly smooth texture, 1.5mm high per slim gel eyeliner. Oh, it's an eyeliner. Where do you even go looking for that? Cook. What do I do, man?
Alia branded sparkling wine.
By sheer coincidence.
You found
Sheer coincidence.
he found he found the different types of honey.
3.0 bag 3.0 melty bag repair oil 3.0 orange melty pink 3.0 yellow and some white bags and pink bags.
Ah yes, the salesman routine.
Huh? 2.0 1.0? Bro, I said 1.0 or 2.0, she said yes. Did you not see the robot? No. The robot leaned to the left, gathered his arms, and then did leaned to the left, to the right, and then gathered his arms, and then did that. Bro did a soup. Watch. He's gonna do the soup. Watch. Soup.
You know what this is, right?
What? Soup.
How do you how do you feel being back in your hometown?
Feels like home. Maybe that's why I keep throwing gang signs, because I'm from the hood, Japanese hood. Got that. That right there is saying hello, what's up, boy? In gang signs.
The anime protagonist
Yes.
going on a chapter of self-discovery.
Yes, sir. Training arc right here. About to be Tanjiro. Tanjiro crazy though. You got sun breathing, I got normal breathing, bro. Did they bow?
No.
I'm bowing.
Let's see how many times you can bow. Okay.
When it comes to videos, I really rarely use my smartphone for technical reasons. Of course, no one can deny the superior quality of the images and videos taken by cameras, but this really isn't just about that. Ironically, I believe the smartphone can be more capable of capturing stories than a camera. We carry these things with us anywhere, anytime, and in all of our most interesting moments, most likely our smartphone is there with us. And to me, the saying applies: the best camera is the one you have with you. Thinking of this trip in retrospect has got me thinking on what really defined this trip. Undoubtedly, this trip was a special one, an exceptional one. But why? Was the group trip special because it was a trip to Japan? Or was the trip to Japan special because it was a group trip? And most importantly, was that it? Did we do everything we wanted to do? Experience everything we want to experience? Japan is a place we all had a common interest in, for different reasons, and it really did provide the perfect setting for what could be our last moments together before we parted ways for university. But that's exactly why I had such contemplation. Was this really the end? And if it was, did we achieve all that we wanted to? While looking through my gallery, getting ready to edit the photos that I took in Japan, I found an old set of pictures that I also took in Japan 2 years ago. It wasn't recent, but it wasn't dated either. What really made this trip different from that one? There were plenty of similarities. I too was traveling with some of my friends previously, I visited some of the same places, but I tried comparing the best pictures that I took from both trips. And it hit me. From the trip 2 years ago, the best pictures I took were solely of objects or places, and that's it. They were the main subjects: locations, foods, cars, and the likes. But on this recent trip to Japan, the photos that really stood out were the ones that had my friends in them. Big props to Toshi for being a very cooperative model, by the way. Maybe at the time of the previous trip, I wasn't under any pressure to cherish more of the people I traveled with instead of what my eyes laid on. But knowing that I really didn't have that much time left with my friends on this recent trip, I guess I decided to put in a little bit more effort in preserving those memories with them rather than of where I was. I guess maybe it wasn't all about the fact we were in the land of the rising sun. It wasn't all about the nights in Tokyo or the scenery in Nara. Maybe it was about those stupid moments, the games we played, the tired walks together, the conversations during dinner, the missed stations. I guess it was those silly moments with the boys that made the trip a whole lot more worthwhile. A trip with some of my closest friends had always stayed a dream for myself, and I can proudly say that we finally made it. And if this really was an ending, then I am very satisfied already. Still though, I kinda wanna go back.